Ladies and gentlemen, let me try that again. Welcome to Winnipeg by Night, Episode 8, Hallow Point. The world of vampires is upheld by a single rule: masquerade. Don't let the chickens know that the fox is inside the henhouse. That humanity should remain oblivious to it. This oftentimes is brought with a code of silence, the point of hiding your true nature. This seems like a very simple concept at first. Understand that discovery potentially means the death of the entire species, so to speak. History has taught the vampire to be cautious, to be quiet. However, there are some who recognize the power one can end up garnering if they're able to manipulate the kind, the human herd, of which vampires feed upon. Such is the situation we find ourselves in tonight. Not long ago, the garage just exploded, causing Ruby, Omen, and Colton to having to flee out of it beforehand. However, at that exact time, police were on their way. Somebody called it in. They've been set up. Potentially, as far as most are concerned, by Metis, Omen's broodmate. Sister, if you will, in the wonderful city of Winnipeg. Sirens, flashing lights are already blocking off both ends of the roadway as a burning building starts to illuminate the area. Ruby, with heightened senses, had an overload and is now blind and deaf, hearing nothing but pain in her ears. Brightness that won't leave her eyes, no matter how tightly she closes them. Colton is currently finding himself trying to dust off as he ends up seeing headlights starting to illuminate. The spotlight has fallen upon the coterie. An Omen may have a chance to look at the night sky to end up seeing his lead going up in smoke. The embers of fire going to join the stars. That leaves one coterie member. One who's not on the street. One who was behind the building when it exploded. Adder. That little snake in the grass who has remained out of sight for now. But Adder can certainly hear the sirens. See the lights here coming in. Gotta be at least 5-6 squad cars. Minimum. This is not a happenstance encounter. This is a setup. Right now, the question remains, how do they get out of it? Especially without breaking the masquerade. Dash cams and body cams being a bit of an issue in this scenario, I would imagine. And it is Winnipeg, a city notorious for its violent crime statistics. Oftentimes one of the reasons vampires enjoy this particular city. Particular incidents tend to just be another statistic. Who knew you guys might end up being one of them? So with that in mind, you guys end up hearing the brakes coming in. Doors are currently here opening, most certainly pistols drawn. Though it's hard to end up seeing past the headlights, which are starting to illuminate you as they start to end up getting into position. What's going on in your minds at this exact moment? Put us in your state of being, if you will. Let's start off with, well, let's start off with the most gorgeous member of them all. So, Omen.
So, currently, we're in a bit of a shitty situation, my friends. So, Omen is very much like, I knew this was coming, should have very much planned ahead for this. But, police is police. I'm currently wrapped up in what was a garage door. So, at least my face isn't seen for now. But there is video evidence of me being here, which is kind of shit. Gonna have to play that to my advantage somehow. God, I hate you, Metis. I will have my revenge for this.
One can only hope. I imagine with that garage door you've literally torn out. To be clear, this is not just one of those nice little panel doors you would get in suburbia. No, this is that door that ends up rolling up and down, managed to be torn directly out of the building, used as a sort of blast shield to end up covering yourself at the last moment, to end up protecting you from fire. One of the banes to the existence of kindred, the vampires. And because of that, well, you might be offered a little bit of a situation. However, imagine most people aren't used to just throwing that kind of weight around. Then again, who knows what you might be capable of. This is a situation that calls for wit. So let's go to the most educated of the coterie. Colton! If you can't tell, I'm being a bit sarcastic at this point, as I understand that these things tend to go over your head, Colton. But you find yourself in this scenario, I would like to end up knowing your mind.
I should have known better. I shouldn't have taken the bait. But there's nothing I can do about that now. The only thing I can do is keep my head out and try to get out of this alive.
Imagine as alive as the living dead can end up being anyway.
I will find whoever did this. I don't know their name. I just know a moniker and a face. They still have information I want.
Well, guess there's only one way to end up finding that out. But, present company. So let's go to, well, clearly the man with all the brute strength. How you doing, Adder? Those noodly appendages ready to put in some work?
Oh. Noodly indeed. Although I'm a little bit more slippery than I am strong. I've been out of some tight binds before, had some run-ins with the cops before. Not 6 quad cars, those. 6 squad cars. I can't even talk. My mind is so frazzled right now with the fact that this place just exploded in my face. Not to mention, I have a huge light sensitivity since becoming embraced. I'm not one of those jerks who wears sunglasses at night.
So I
But
imagine
sometimes
right now you're feeling like they might have had a point.
it might have had a point, and I don't have any, and I am regretting it right now. But police. Not unusual to hear sirens. Not unusual for sirens to be close. Not unusual for there to be many squad cars. Chasing after me, though. Well, they haven't seen me. But chasing after my coterie mates. That isn't exactly ideal. And I like Ruby. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. But at the same time, I think it's time to vanish. I think it's time to be unseen so that maybe, just maybe, I can slink away. Hopefully, with my coterie mates intact.
Hopefully.
If they get hurt, I'm going to be more than angry. I'm going to be disappointed.
Can't be having that, I'm sure.
I
Speaking
already
of
have a
Ruby,
hard time with things as it is.
speaking of Ruby, I understand a dull wit is very common amongst the clan Malkavian, but try and organize thought. I'm feeling spicy today.
Yes, you are. Love it. Well, gathering her thoughts is about the only thing she can do right now. It's not the first time she's been effectively flashbanging like this. Probably won't be the last, and she hates every second of it. So she's trying to figure out. She's listening, she can hear a few cars, she can hear the officers. She's trying to remember the layout of the streets, see if they're trying to remember if there was an alleyway nearby she might be able to slip into when her sight comes back to her. See if she can slink away like Adder can do.
Wow. You have a split second right now to end up making some decisions, my wonderful little coterie. So, in the time it takes to draw a pistol, the time it takes to open a car door, and the time it takes to hit the brakes, what do you do?
I'm going to regret this. I'm unseen passage.
Alright, I would like a rouse check from you.
So,
Yeah.
look at the lay of the land. We got 6 police officers, correct?
No,
When
you
did
got
that
6
happen?
squad cars.
6 squad cars.
Presuming that's 2 apiece, that'd probably be more of a dozen.
12. Ooh, buddy.
I always like donuts. They come in a good even number.
Okay. With that in mind. The things that are going through Omen's mind right now is, how can I efficiently Ruby's in different locations, so is Colton.
Hmm.
I'm covered by the garage door, at least temporarily.
Yeah, but it's very clear you're under it. It's not exactly
Yeah,
masking.
very.
It's not exactly masking your presence.
Right. So, with that, when, because this is gonna be a hindrance either way. Um, my plan is to chuck this fucking uh gate in between where Colton and Ruby is, so the squad cars are kind of impeded by the gate.
Okay, so, Omen, just to be clear, remember how I said, roadway, garage, you have squad cars coming from both sides. So,
Fuck, that's right, both sides.
right, like you are boxed in on this street, and you currently have a roaring fire, which is not helping matters, so going backwards certainly isn't an option. You hit back into the building. Hanging across the street might be a little bit hazardous as it's wide open.
Yep.
So, what do you... So you can end up doing so, but it's only going to end up... Well, we'll have to see what the hell you end up doing with it, to be honest with you. But you can definitely make the attempt. I would like to also remind you that you still have prowess at this point.
Yep.
I believe Ruby is still under the effects of compulsion, as is Adder.
So currently,
And I have resilience, or whatever it's called.
I already know I can potentially deal with one side, can't deal with the other.
Mhm.
Deal with the police that are closest to Ruby and Colton to
Okay.
give them a moment of reprieve while hitting that direction.
All right. So I know what you're doing. I know what Adder's doing. What's Ruby and Colton doing?
When she has a chance, she's gonna book it to the nearest alleyway.
How would you know? You're blind.
She gotta wait for blindness to go away.
So that. Let me double check something, but while we do that, Colton, what are you doing?
What does the surroundings of this place look like?
All
Are
right.
we like butted up against woods at all, or like I
No,
know
no,
it's like
you
edge
are
of
you
town.
are in inner city, my friend.
Oh, it's inner city. I thought it was edge of town.
No, this is you're in the south side.
Okay.
The northern part of Saint Vital. That
Surrounded by the rest of the city.
Colton would look around and he would look for the closest line of cover to break line of sight and whistle as loud as he can for Earl and take off running.
all right. Okay. So, Ruby, you are definitely in. You're not completely incapacitated. You are at a -3 penalty, though, for the rest of the scene when it comes down to
Okay.
all perception-based checks and anything that might involve your senses. After all, that heavy ringing in the ears might be a little distracting, I imagine. Oh,
Yeah.
Adder is gone. Invisible.
Mhm.
Omen, since everybody else is going to be boosted by what you're going to do, and we haven't technically rolled for an initiative just yet, I would like you to give me a... Well, you said you're throwing the door, so let's make this a strength athletics plus prowess.
Okay, can I rouse for this? 'Cause I was
Absolutely.
gonna do it. All right.
Yeah, yeet.
You get hungrier.
Yep. All right. Strength.
Strength, athletics, prowess, and your rouse check. good news for you. That is 7
I
successes.
have 3 more. I have 3 more. I could potentially reroll. I'm making this the best I can.
Okay.
And messy.
Yeah.
Very.
There we go.
And just to be clear, that's not including that 10 that is currently in your normal dice, correct? You are rolling the 3 you missed.
Yep.
He's accepting the messy crit.
Okay.
Yep.
So let me get to the root
Might
of
be
what you are
squeezing out.
actually intending to do. You're intending to end up using this garage door to cover, to end up taking pressure off of Colton and Ruby. That is effectively what you're trying to do. The methodology, the beast doesn't really care about. So the beast is going to do what the beast is going to do. Especially when you end up having your powers activated. Especially when you put it all on the line. So, when you proceed to do this, you end up throwing. Beast, you feel it. Your muscles tense. You end up throwing the remains of this garage door. But when you do so, with that speed and strength known to the Brujah, this doesn't turn into a lob where it lands in between Ruby and Colton. No, this goes into the squad car. And when I mean in, I mean it careens in, pushes in the engine block, forces the engine block into the cab, forces the entire car to end up lifting up by about 12 feet, while this garage door has effectively got stuck in the midway as it ends up rolling up, and then suddenly comes crashing down, causing the other two to end. Well, you know what? No. I'm not going to deny anything about this. Craig. You end up doing so, and the car shifts back, rolling over one officer when it ends up happening. His partner ends up managing to dodge out of the way. But when he ends up landing, the car while it's kind of hanging on its rear bumper, comes back down directly on top of him. A splat of gore suddenly shoots across the entirety of the roadway, mixing gore and asphalt.
Well,
mission accomplished, Omen. Mission accomplished.
oh my god!
Well, what am I supposed to do when you end up having 10 successes with a bestial crit? How else do you explain this?
It's taking. It's definitely taking care of. Oh god!
And Colton, you are running aside. Now, you normally take a penalty as you are trying to end up running because, well, you are running effectively in the open. There is no cover. However, Omen has ended up doing everything he can to give you cover. If only on the idea of a lot of people suddenly witnessing the impossible right in front of them. So, I would like for you to do me a quick favor. I am going to end up asking you to end up rolling me a Dex Athletics, and you will not be at penalty, but you are going through a hail of gunfire at this point. Because I think we would all agree Omen's actions would definitely make a weapons-free environment.
Well, they're going to have a field day of shooting a guy in the back, but...
Well, trust me, you're not the only one taking shots.
Thanks,
Dex
Roman. Thank
Athletics.
you.
I tried. I did good.
Um, I want to rouse.
Arouse the blood. Okay.
I'm thinking about that because he needs to get away. Yeah, I'm going to rouse for an extra 2 dice.
Okay. That's 3 successes, I believe. No,
No.
that is 5 successes. That's not too bad. I said there was a 10, or I said there was a dozen, but now 2 are out, so let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes minus 5, so that is 2, plus 2 for the hip, plus 2 for handgun, cut in half because, well, it's superficial damage for you. So that'll be 2 points, or no, 4 points of damage. You say you have Fortitude activated. You currently have 2 dots in Fortitude right now?
Great.
3. Okay, so that reduces it down to 1. Half, rounded up. You end up taking 1 point to superficial damage out of all those.
Okay.
Okay. So, with that being said, Ruby, you hear gunfire. You end up it's flashing lights, a lot of loud noises. Even when you turn off heightened senses, it still reverberates. But you said you were also running, if I recall.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need the same thing from you. Now they already. That is athletics plus dex.
Oh boy!
You are not at. You are still at penalty due to your hip, the compulsion kicking in.
It can be
Apparently,
reduced down to less than 1.
yeah. That I legit have 1 dice in this entire pool.
Okay. Well, good news is they are reduced by 1 die because they've already taken the action. This is a reaction. So, give me a roll.
Hey! The success on the single dice!
And they only get 2 successes, so they reduce by 1, goes up by 3. You don't have any other portions of it, so that ends up cutting in half. That would be 2 points of superficial damage, as you end up finding yourself perforated with 9mm. Trying to end up getting across, but you are able to end up making distance. You don't slow down. That being said, at this exact moment, I am going to ask everybody to give me a Dex, I believe, Dex Composure.
Including me.
Yep, I'm just figuring out order of operations now.
Am I still at penalty for the compulsion for
Nope.
this?
Nope.
Okay. Cool.
3. Okay. That is 4. So they go first, except for Colton's. And Omen, I believe. No, Omen's at 5.
All the crits tonight.
Yeah. So it's Omen, Colton. Okay. So, Omen, after this horrific display of strength, just watching what you just did, Colton and Ruby take off running. You end up seeing shots fired. Shots are being fired in your direction, just to be clear. So, what are you about to do?
Well, let's see. At this point, definitely gonna be using rapid reflexes to pull a couple things out of my pocket. Because since Omen is used to his very scary feat of strength. He carries around small objects because he's been trained usually not to mostly kill as a last resort. But immobilize is
The
better thing to say.
garage door would tell me otherwise, but okay.
um, so Omen would have tiny bolts in his pockets. You know those little thumb bolts that you like screw onto.
Yep.
Yeah. He's going to chuck a couple of those at the police while trying to get closer, honestly. Because one, the dash cams kind of need to be dealt with, and body cams kind of need to be dealt with. So,
Now, Omen, how many dots in tech do you have?
well, let's see. Absolutely zero.
Okay, so I'm just going to let you continue on that presumption. Okay. That being said,
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, he is for intelligence, though. Well, for intelligence. So
Yep.
I don't know if that would, well, anything.
Well,
But definitely dealing with the cameras is on
Alright.
his mind.
all right. Well, so you're going to be using this to try and take out cams as you end up, or are you like?
Yep, trying to.
All right. Is there anything else you're going to be doing at that point, or?
Getting to cover.
Okay.
Because
Well,
they're not in the open. they're not-
problem being is that the closest cover you have is currently on fire.
Yeah,
Then there's a large strip of roadway, and when I say large, I mean 2 cars traffic on either direction, and then the street across. So tricky situation, I imagine.
yeah. So, oh God.
He ain't here right now. How can I help?
So is fire coming fully out of the front doorway, front gate?
Dude, that entire building at this point is up. Like, I think we've made it abundantly clear. What that smell. It's not blood. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, it was heresy. I would have to start making my way towards the opposition on the other side, honestly, where I threw the door, through the gate, because they're down a few people, so they'll be easier to do.
All right. So I'm going to allow you to split your dice pool as you so choose. Okay. Whatever dice pool you use in one negates from the other. So you want to end up getting more accurate. You're going to be taking a penalty to how you're dodging to end up getting across the street. So since you're splitting your action, go ahead. You choose the dice. For throwing is a Dex Athletics as well. Is you're basically using these bolts almost as though they're throwing knives.
Essentially. Dex Athletics. Not the best pool.
Does prowess work with that?
Nope.
Only on strength
Yes,
checks.
it did.
Only on strength checks? Okay, I was curious.
Yeah.
Now, how many of those dice do you want to save? Because if you use that entire pool, and then I call for another one for you dodging bullets, obviously if you use them all, well, you're threading the needle. And you don't have cover right now. You are in wide open street. Decisions, Omen, come on.
It might just be best to get the cover first.
All right. So, are you sure you're not going to use your
Fucking running to cover
bolt throwing?
first.
Okay. Then,
Yeah, I'm sure.
all right. What's athletics? And that will be at a -2 penalty.
Okay.
Okay, and this will be the
Oh,
officer's round.
will rapid reflexes help me with this?
Yes, it does actually. You do not get a penalty. You are not in penalty for not being in cover.
Aha! Thank God, because I'm gonna need it.
Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes, and you get a crit. No, you did not. So they beat you by 1. Are you going to willpower to try and match that 1? To completely dodge?
Yeah. You know what? Sure. Rather not take damage right now. This is gonna bite me in the ass.
Things happen. Not quite.
Nope.
Not quite, Owen. But you take 1 point damage, plus 2 for the pistol, minus or half, rounded up, means 2 points of damage as you end up finding yourself gently love tapped, shall we say, in the 9mm variety. But it does allow you to end up getting across the street. And this ends up bringing us now Colton. And now it's Adder and Ruby. So whichever one of you wants to take the action first.
Ladies first.
Ruby's gonna keep running. She needs to get out of line of sight.
Okay. If you are trying to get out of line of sight, all right, then this is going to be a different one because you're across the street. Well, no, it would be the same at this point because you are trying to end up making. What's more important, the breaking line of sight or gaining distance for you?
Breaking line of sight.
Okay, that's going to require a Dex Athletics. Mostly diving for cover, but you might be able to end up doing so.
Nope.
Alright, well, they have already done their attack, so that's going to end up dropping it again. That is 3 successes, bringing it up to 5. Halved, that's going to be 3. 3 points of superficial damage. Yeah, Ruby, as this point, you can imagine a lot of them are starting to become concerned. You're not exactly wearing something that could end up being described as body armor, shall we say. But you do manage to end up breaking line of sight, at least at this point. Adder, what are you doing?
I am unseen currently.
Currently unseen.
And I can barely see at the moment. And I can definitely hear the commotion going on. And being unseen, I'm not able to gauge my companion's state of being at the moment, given that I can't barely see.
No, it is definitely a difficult time for you, I'd imagine. But then again, from the sounds of it, between metal being bent, a large bang of a very heavy object following a sudden splat along with a hail of gunfire, has definitely ended up making this a precarious situation, especially with that roaring bit of light we once called a garage currently right in front of you.
Yeah, kind of putting myself in distance between myself and the garage. Get to some place where it's more shadowed, it's more comfortable. to be able to actually gauge the situation from.
Right.
That's my concern right now.
You have no problem in here doing so, but here's the question. Are you staying around the location, or are you just trying to get out?
I need to see it. I need to see what happens. I'm going to find some place to remain unseen. Engage the situation once I could maybe see what's going on.
Now, just to be clear, Matter, you are under the effect of a heightened senses backfiring.
Yeah.
Right? Do I remember that correctly?
And my bane.
Okay. Just to be clear, that heightened senses doesn't go away until the end of the scene.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So I'm trying to muscle through it. So
All right. I just don't want you under any misconceptions as to the situation as the player.
No, if I see specks of my coterie mates and they are getting away, that's all I care about at the moment. We can regroup.
All right.
Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare to explain.
All right. Okay. And that ends up bringing us back to Omen. Omen, you are at the top of the round. You are halfway across, and making your way into it. You might be able to get into cover and break line of sight, but you're doing so in front of in the spotlight, in amongst all of these headlights, dash cams, and, well, let's suffice it to say that at this point the place is being lit up pretty well between the headlights, the fire, and the gunfire, which is currently feeling more like a strobe light back in the days, you know. What we need is a black light, and feeling like the old days. But what do you do?
Okay. So Colton and Ruby are at least starting to hit in an alleyway, right?
Yep. You managed to buy them enough time. But because Ruby is now no longer visible and Colton managed to get across, you are currently the only one here currently in line of sight to everybody.
Yep. Well, at least mission accomplished there. I'm halfway, so I just have nothing.
All right, you know what I'm rolling, what you're rolling, and they are going to be.
Yep. Gonna start booking it along the merry way.
All right, let's see what we can do. The arc dice has actually been in your favor quite a bit this time, surprisingly.
Oh boy.
Well, since it's a combat roll, it doesn't add to anything, but they got 1, 2, 3 versus your 5. Omen, the speed of your blood, the ability to move faster than the human eye can observe, allows you to sidestep, duck, dodge, dip, and dive along with duck. Various bits of bullet fire chewing up the street, chewing up the head into the sidewalk, into that nice little potted tree that some cities like to end up placing here. You can end up hearing the shattering of stone. The smell of gunpowder starts to end up filling your lungs as you end up managing to make it across. Thankfully, at this point, you've managed to barely end up dodging oncoming fire at this point. Still, It's going to be one hell of a trip. That's their action, so it goes to Colton. Colton, you managed to make it across the street. You managed to end up making it to some degree of cover at this point. Earl behind. You're not sure if Earl is taking a stray shot or if that's something else, but you don't have time to end up being worried about that at this moment, I imagine. So there's currently, a situation that's escalating. They're certainly getting ready to move.
I'm going to, seeing that Omen looks like he's fighting. Since I got the cover, going to lean out and use my rifle to try to take take out some people if I can.
Okay. And since that's the case, I would like you to end up rolling me since you are managing to get the cover, but you're still shooting out. I'm going to ask for a composure plus firearms.
Okay.
At this point, they are not as well trained. Now they're receiving fire, so that's going to end up impacting it. So let's make it 3. Three beats 2. You currently have. Check that's not a crit. Oh, so that is 5. So you beat by margin of 2. You end up looking down sight as you end up trying to end up holstering the rifle properly. It's a different experience when you're getting shot at as brick and mortar is reduced to powder from oncoming shots, but you end up turning around that corner, bringing the rifle to bear, and end up pulling the trigger. You see one go down in your scope. Not sure where the shot may have landed. Might have hit the vest, might have ended up hitting the shoulder, might have hit the head, but they went down quick enough, like as if they were hit by a goddamn sledgehammer spiraling behind the car. A lot of them had this exact moment start to end up moving to cover now with a bit of hesitancy, as there is, well, to be frank, at this point now there's clear evidence of being shot back, which does end up causing a bit of an issue, but it does allow you to end up being able to cover Omen at that exact moment. We'll end up going to Ruby next, since Adder was kind enough to offer that. Ruby, you managed to end up getting to cover. What are you doing right now? Given the fact that you can feel yourself falling apart, something has hit ribs, something has punctured lung. You don't even want to imagine the state of your own intestinal tract, I imagine, at this point, and well, let's just say the situation ain't looking too pretty, nor are you.
Since she's broken line of sight, she'll be using Unseen Passage.
Okay. Roll me a rouse check.
Oh, thank God I passed that.
Ruby, you are now under Unseen Passage. The human eye cannot end up telling what the hell ended up happening, or where you are. The natural sight of a human being built to avoid looking at you, without even noting it. It's not true invisibility. It's enough to not be noticed. A potential chance to get out of here. A gift, the Malkavian bloodline. Adder, you manage to get a little ways up the street. You feel like you're behind the lines. You can end up seeing as you end up turning to end up seeing an officer here go down to return fire. You're not sure as you can't see down the alleyway as you're more up the street, but It sounds more like a rifle shot at this point. You're not sure of the caliber. I'm pretty sure you're not a gun guy. But you can definitely end up telling there's a distinct difference when the rounds fired. Omen at this point is making his way into the alleyway. The cops seem to be trying to end up moving in. Some of them start to end up playing along the building game, ready to end up using cover. Others start to end up trying to end up moving the flanking maneuver. But at this point, the return fire is definitely slowing their approach.
Good. But also, I don't like this situation at all. What can I do to help them? What can I do?
Are you asking for help? Or are you asking for options?
Well, I'm unseen, so I can possibly get myself away. You know, that would
Easily,
be...
you could walk away from this moment at a moment's notice, and no one would be the wiser. You have not been caught on dash cam, you have not been caught on personal footage, and you definitely were not in the middle of a whole bunch of headlights illuminating the stage set before you.
No. And there was a gun fired. Not just the cops' guns, but a different one. One of them fired back. Idiot. I am... If it wasn't for the fact that I am at a penalty for trying to even observe anything at the moment, I would help out in this situation, but I think the thing that I need to do the most, I'm no help to them right now. I need to just stay out of sight. I'm gonna listen for what's going on in the scene. I'm gonna try to watch, see what happens. Once it clears out, then assess.
Roll me a wits awareness.
I'm at a penalty for that because I'm under a compulsion and I have my bane going on right now.
Well, if I recall, it's not just that you're not under your bane right now because you're no longer in light. You specifically moved out of that.
Yeah,
but you are under your compulsion, and you are still blinded by heightened senses, if I recall.
Yeah.
So that's minus 5 total.
-5. Ew. Gross. Wits
Still gives you a chance.
Well, it gives me 1 dice left to play with.
No dice were rolled, so you re-roll that.
Oh, you know what? That's because -4 is the maximum for me to actually have 1 dice. I was looking at the wrong thing. My resolve is 3. My wits is 2.
Okay. Alright. I'll give you what you can get. You can assess on a single success, or I can give you a succeed at a cost.
What's the cost?
The cost is that Colton takes 2 points of superficial damage, as he's currently being shot at. But in pairing, I will end up giving you perfect information as to what exactly you end up seeing. Unfortunately, Colton's one of the 2 that don't have your particular gift of being able to just fade away into nothingness. And he may or may not have suddenly got a lot of attention on him with firing back.
To himself. Exactly. Okay. No.
How much faith you got?
I want to help the guy, but I also don't want to see. I don't want to add to the damage pool. No, I'm gonna stick with the fail.
It's not a
Stick
fail.
with the-
There's
well, then stick with the
still a single success. It's just I can't really give you much more than what would be very obvious. So here's what's very
Stick
obvious.
with the one.
There are 3 officers down. One, you're presuming the one that's down is currently being covered by his partner, who's trying to pull him behind the wheel well of his vehicle. He's trying to end up stemming the bleeding, maybe end up performing emergency action at this point. So he's hit bad. You end up observing that at least another 4 are currently here, making their way along the building to end up finding a firing solution on what you can only presume is Colton's position at this point. The other thing that you will end up noticing is that there is already a radio going off. You can end up hearing, you might be just enough or just close enough to one of the squad cars to be able to end up hearing voice chatter where they are definitely calling for reinforcements at this exact moment in time. Not surprising given how much of a shit show this has just turned into and escalated incredibly quickly.
Gotta give Colton something to allow him to get away. Well, I could. How far am I away from that squad car that I overhear?
I would say about 20 feet. Most of the attention, remember, you're still on the same side of the road as the garage. They're the ones on the other side of it. So,
Yeah.
no one's looking in your general direction at this exact moment.
So if, for instance, on this side of the street, if one is pulling their partner behind the wheel well of a car, is that from a vantage point where I could sneak up behind them and feed off of the other?
You can certainly try.
Because I would like to reduce the number of people who are actually firing at Colton.
Alright. So, if that is the case, then I will end up asking you to make me a dex stealth. You will still be at your appropriate penalties.
Dex stealth. So that's compulsion -2 and
That's it. You're not using perception. You'll
no,
even,
okay.
and given the fact that he's got other concerns, you will also get a +1 because of that his circumstance. As it's very clear, they know where the bullets are coming from, and it is not from you.
Nope. Does my obfuscate add to the modifier?
Not really, because this is more of a case of they're not going to see you coming in the first place.
Anyway, yeah.
So, no, the modifier is more, do you accidentally kick a can? Do you kick over some casings? Do you end up managing to slip on the blood that is currently coming out from the underside of that damn near chopped in half squad car? You know, random circumstance like that. But
Okay. So I've got the -2 from my compulsion,
and a +1
but
circumstance.
+1 for circumstance. Okay.
Just don't dare guess it.
Would I be at my compulsion penalty if I intend to break a conviction?
No, you would not. Because that is the
I-
point of your conviction.
Mm-hmm.
Or that is the point of your compulsion.
We're in it deep. Might as well go all the way. I intend to kill.
Alright. Roll it.
Oops. Oh, that's messy.
That is messy.
I would have to fix 2 10s to not make that messy.
So, with that being said, that is 9 successes.
Mm-hmm. Quiet as a mouse.
Adder. This is what vampires are. This is the truth of what you are.
I'm a murderer.
You're a lion. Stalking a zebra. It's unaware. It's panicked. It's trying to end up reaching for radio, trying to end up calling in with signs of officer down. Unfortunately, for the person on the other side of that radio, it goes quiet. You're pretty sure you're out of his sight as you end up suddenly lunging upon this officer. Bangs go deep. Life forces. Unreal. You can feel your mouth almost as though it's adjusting form, almost like you're capable of swallowing his head whole as you start to end up drinking. It's going to take a little while as you don't have brutal feed,
No.
but you will be able to pull 1 point away at this point, because that would be the typical point per round, as this is a successful bite attack with a sneak attack moment. So, with that being said, you end up curing your first point of hunger. No one's the wiser on what you're doing.
Nope.
It also takes one more pistol out of the game. It's the best you can do. After all, isn't it so nice to help a Coda remember and get fed at the same time? Ruby, you're pulling out, as I understand it. So we are going to swap immediately back to Omen. Omen, you managed to end up getting across the street. You're diving for cover as Colton is firing the round. You managed to end up staying out of his line of sight, at least down range, as you end up pulling behind him. You two are pretty close. You can end up feeling the gun barrel, or the bullets whiz by, as Colton ends up offering you covering fire. You don't see Ruby or Adder anywhere. Looks like you two are in the shit.
Damn. Alright, Colton. Let's get the hell out of here. Because knowing right about now, a lot more cops are going to be coming. I'm gonna try and what's the quickest way into the sewers to get from surface level?
Manhole cover here might be nearby.
Alright, gonna try and pop that and go down.
Alright. So here is the question. Since I didn't think on this one, high or low? What's it going to be? Omen, high or low? I don't know. I haven't heard a response from Omen yet. Anybody else?
Discord fucked up.
Yep, so my computer completely froze and died.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Alright. Well. Oh, there we go. Your camera faded. Alright, so high or low?
Let's go high. Why not?
It is high. Congratulations. The manhole cover for this particular section and the street isn't actually in the center of the street. It's off in the hip, in the back alley, keeping it very nearby. And with your prowess activated, it's not even an issue. I'm not going to make you roll for opening it. Normally I would, because let's be honest here, a pencil pusher ain't lifting a manhole cover with bare hands. But with you, this is just you lifting another plate on the barbell.
All right. Ordering Big C down the fucking hole.
All right, Big C, what's it gonna be?
I want to look at Omen as like, we should split up. And I'm going to heal the superficial wound so I'm not oozing vitae. And zip up my jacket, tuck the rifle up so that it's out, like it's underneath my jacket, and basically take off and try to stealth away.
Alright, that's going to end up meaning you are going to be athletic stamina at this point. Because you can break line of sight easily enough, but now it's a running game.
Alright, and I'm going to rouse the blood for this.
Alright.
Ooh, we can be thankful for the small things.
That is 4 successes. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Omen, you said you're going down in the sewers as Big C takes off?
Yep.
Alright. Omen, you hop down. But Omen, you're going to need to make some distance as well. And this is not your natural habitat. So,
No, it isn't.
this is going to... But I guess you really don't care which direction you're running, so long as you're in the dark, away from line of sight, and trying to end up making some degree of distance. So, I am going to ask for you to end up rolling me the same, a stamina athletics.
Okay.
Alright. Now, that gives me a baseline to work with. So, with that being said, we end up having Adder, it goes to you. You will end up taking another point of feeding. As you end up seeing many of the gunshots start to quiet down, you end up seeing many of them pulling up and starting to end up giving chase. You can end up hearing sirens in the distance. They're still a ways away, but definitely they're going to be coordinating this area off very soon. However, you do get another point of blood at that point. And if you're still intent to kill, then we are going to end up fast forwarding on that portion, because I'm pretty sure no one's going to be able to interrupt you, and they got other circumstances. So I don't see anything drawing attention to you at this point.
Yep.
But I am going to ask you to take 3 stains as you end up filling your entire hunger bar.
And as soon as I am finished, I am going to once again slink away.
So, that being said, we are going to end up going to... It's Omen first. Now, Omen, you are currently in the sewers. You're making some distance. This is going to require a... actually, not... Yeah, composure would probably be best. Nope. No, actually. This is going to require a wits stealth. Because they can't see you. The question is can you lose them?
Okay.
And that's more mind games at this point, since you could have went left, you could have went right when you came down, and then it just gets more complicated from there. You're going upstream, you're going downstream. All the questions go.
Damn, that's a 2.
Are you willing to willpower that?
Ooh.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a guaranteed success for the same penalty that Colton will be receiving. Let's see on who's willing to throw each other under the bus this time.
Would that be too superficial? That
Nope. It's just I'm going to be penalizing Colton's same role. Because Colton's doing the same thing, just above on the surface.
I'd rather take the hit than Colton take the hit, honestly.
All right. Then
So
you don't know if you've gotten away or not. But I'll keep that in mind. However, Colton, I'm going to ask for you to do the same. This is going to be more of a wit stealth. See if you can end up breaking away rather than hiding away. That is 2 successes. Colton, I'm gonna make you an offer. Succeed at a cost. I will let you get away. However, it's going to push Omen all the way back to the beginning of the chase portion. He's currently at 2. He needs 1 more to get away. But you can get away scot-free if you're willing to end up making him do it all over again. Think of Earl.
No. Don't do that to me.
You're putting Earl in danger if you end up continuing. You don't know if he's been hit or not. He's looking pretty mighty up at this point. You're not sure if that's blood or something else. You gonna put Earl in danger, or you gonna put Omen in danger? After all, tough guy. You can end up handling it, right?
Nah, I can't do it.
Don't be a bitch.
You stay out of this, Omen. It's not your decision.
Yeah, I can't throw one Omen under the bus. Not for these stakes when we're just trying to get away. And we're not, we've got some distance already. If things were more dire, maybe, but...
Well, we can fix that.
I know you can. I have no doubts.
Alright. Keep that in mind. Let's go back to the top of the board. Omen. You can hear the splashing in the water. You can definitely tell that somebody's behind. Whether they've managed to track you or not is still up in the air. Now, you might be able to end up gain out of this. But you take the wrong turn, you might end up in a dead end cornered. And there's nowhere to run.
God damn. I'm. I don't have much on me.
How do you want to do this, Omen?
I'm going to stop for a moment. Try to wait to see if the noise passes me by.
You sure? You can lose distance if that's the case.
Mm.
And I'll tell you right now, even I don't know which way they're heading.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I'll book it faster.
Faster?
Book it faster.
Alright, make me a athletics stamina. Making your way near sloshing down here near sewage pipeline. Trying to make it out of here.
I'm aroused for this because I'm probably need it.
Oh, let's find out.
Stamina and
Only 2 successes? That's
what?
not normal. Well, I guess you could willpower and eventually get a crit. Or you can get away scot-free. However, that's going to come at a cost.
What kind of cost?
Earl's hit.
I can't do that to the dog, man.
Oh, come on. You're going to tell me that you're putting some pooch over your head, their own immortality?
I mean,
You want John Wick because this is how we get John Wick.
do I value the dog?
You shut up, Colton. You're not involved in this discussion.
do I value dog's life over mine? Hell no. But as a dog lover and prior dog owner, I can't do that to the dog, man.
Sure you
It
can.
stays a
Sure you can. All you gotta say is accept the cost. It is completely
no.
possible for you to do so.
I've got to stick to my principles.
In your own words, don't be a bitch.
No, don't you throw my words back at me. Fuck you.
I'll do it if I want to.
Hey, Ruby, Adder, you two stay out of this too. I shut Colton down for the same thing. I'm not of you. I don't care if you're rooting for me. All right.
I'm gonna throw hands with everyone at this point, goddammit. But nah, I'll stick with the two. It's gonna bite me in the ass.
All right. Well, since I don't know, but it's not quite where I was hoping, we're leaving this up to one more dice roll. Omen, high or low? Because this can go one way, or it can go another. I don't know. I leave this entirely in your hands.
You know what? Let's go low.
That's a 2 on a D10. That is a low. Congratulations, Omen. It stinks to high heaven down here. You're having a hard time seeing, mostly making your way through touch and feel and whatever the hell that is growing on the side of these tunnels, as you end up keeping yourself bent down and crouched down in order to make tunnels that were not meant for you to walk through. What the fuck is that floating against your leg?
Oh God.
you're pretty sure that they're not following you at this point. Which brings us to Colton.
How the fuck do I get out of here?
Colton. You don't know if Earl's hit or not. Definitely moving a little funny, but that could be just on the fact that he's trying to keep up with you at a full-blown sprint, which, let's be real here, can be difficult at times, especially given the Gangrel lineage. So, with that in mind, you might have gotten some distance. Are you continuing to break away, or is there anything else you wanted to end up doing?
I would keep trying to get away. I need to get out of Chase and reset and obsess Earl.
Alright.
I'm not going to, as long as he can keep moving, I'm not going to stop until we're safe.
We're going to make this a very interesting role then. This is going to be a different role, given your background. I would like for you to give me a manipulation survival.
Ooh.
The reason being is that you actually have options as opposed to Omen, who is mostly a coin flip in a tunnel. You know how to track, you know how to trace, you also know how to hide. All this is a concrete jungle, isn't it?
Okay.
So all you need to do is make sure that they're not following you. Best way to do that is have them look somewhere else.
We need to get away. I gotta risk blood. I think I'm gonna blood surge.
All right. All right. That. You think you managed to get away. Might have required you carrying Earl on your back. Trying to end up hanging on to the buffer. He is not a light load, especially going up fire escapes. Building to building. That thrill of the hunt, this is what it's all about. This ability to end up really cutting loose. Trying to end up finding yourself in a moment of kill or be killed. This is what it really comes down to. All the pomp and circumstance, the goddamn towers sitting overhead as you end up maybe looking across the Red River to end up seeing downtown. Illuminated lights, pathways amongst trees near the river. But this is what it really is. Being hunted and hunting. For all of the headaches that tonight might have brought, this is an experience that is as true to what you are as anything else. If anything, this is the closest thing to honesty you've experienced since your embrace. It's almost exhilarating to let it out. I think that is where we're going to take our first little break. Be right back, everybody. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The good news, Earl has not been hit. You can all take a sigh of relief on that. However, as the coterie tries to end up making its way back to common ground, back to domain. With only a handful of hours left before the night gives way to day once again, and the accursed day star ends up making its appearance, threatening to reduce every kindred to ash should they not find themselves sheltered. I imagine Coterie certainly has some questions, and more than a handful of concerns. I can already hear Adder starting. So, with that, we will end up beginning to enjoy the company of our coterie as we end up making our way to the coterie house, a place to end up gathering. Some lost some property, some lost some leads, some lost their sanity, and others may have left with a scared or a scoured soul. But the promise of potential tomorrow night is worth the sacrifice, don't you think? An inconvenience in the face of eternity. So, that being said, since you all left separately, I'm going to end up presuming you arrived separately. Now, I'm going to end up presuming Ruby, given the fact that she was the one to be not only the swiftest, but the one with the tools to disengage first, would be the one at the household. However, everybody else I will allow to arrive at whatever order they so choose. However, Ruby, at this point, given your situation, you being shredded, I imagine that Eddie might be shocked when he ends up seeing you arrive.
Oh, she probably gave him a small heart attack as she did not drop obfuscate until she got in the house through the back door.
I'd imagine not, and looking at the sight of you, there's that one where you end up taking it halfway across the face. It's really weird to feel the wind on your molars.
Yeah.
But that's a small thing compared to the rest of you. Exposed rib cage, abdomen might be here, thoroughly shredded. You've taken more than a fair amount of shots. As currently, the only thing that stinks more than the blood, the vitae, is the bullet wounds burn to it. So, with that in mind, who else will be joining this?
I'd show up.
Colton, you're healed, or you've healed up from the damage you've sustained. In fact, with the amount of fire you've taken, you've actually managed to end up dealing with it quite nicely, all things considered. Earl steps alongside you. Big fluffy boy he might be, that dog is currently more whimpering at you with clear measure of concern. Though, at this point, the loss of a truck might be a pain in the ass to end up dealing with. But you see at this point, Ruby, who is, shall we say, not in the singular piece. In fact, falling into pieces.
Jesus. I thought I took a couple of hits.
I'm not a fighter. I'm not athletic to a point. And now you have standing proof.
I'll just nod and I'm going to look Earl over. Take him up into the into the bathtub, turn the water on, and wash him off and make sure he's okay. See if he's taken any hits.
Fine. Might have sprained something along the way, but given your relations, I'm sure that he'll end up recovering quickly enough. The water ends up cleaning off a lot of the grime and blood. And, well, let's just say things did not end up going as smoothly as you hoped. Raven, you currently hear the upstairs water running as Earl is being bathed by his supposed master at this point. Though who owns who, I'm starting to question.
She's just gonna shake her head and sink into a chair.
Long night, I imagine. Well, Eddie's definitely feeling awkward as he's kind of looking at you. If there was ever evidence that you are indeed a corpse, now is it, in no uncertain terms.
What, never seen so many holes before?
What? What are you?
We're vampires, sweetie. We told you this.
No, I mean that. Look, you are not exactly the spitting image of Dracula from the Hammer films, okay? Like that is that's some Cronenberg shit right there.
Well, this is what happens when you have a float in your face and then take multiple gunshots. When you're not all, athletic.
And I think that it's at that point we might have another who would end up entering the scene. Who would that be?
Covered in grime, shit, and other god awful things. Omen comes trudging through the back fucking door.
Yeah, the real pain of it was that freaking heroin needle that was stuck in your leg. It probably got swept in from last time's rain, stuck in the grates. But you did manage to find a way out. That's a start.
This is a
dear
fucking shit
God.
show.
And I thought I had a.
I don't want to hear from none of you.
You upstairs.
I know
now.
it smells god awful. Okay.
Colton's already washing. Go see if he'll wash you too.
I can wash myself, goddamn.
Shortly after
you
that is
don't
when
want-
Adder's gonna walk in.
Adder, you get that distinct smell that just kind of kicks you in the face right away.
Gross.
I don't want to hear from you either. I'm going. Okay.
You might
Wasn't
want to
gonna
try
say
to
anything.
too.
Omen, you start trudging upstairs. You had it with this shit. And as you end up coming into the upstairs, you currently end up opening the bathroom door. In which case, what you end up seeing is Colton in the tub with Earl trying to scrub them both down.
Well, I didn't know it was an entire party up here.
Oh, God, you smell worse than a gut-shot deer. What?
I know. Okay. I don't need you to explain it to me a third time.
Oh.
Earl growls. He's upset that somebody's going to take his bath.
You know what? I can wait outside. You know what?
Oh yeah, maybe start with the hose in the backyard. Try to get some of the big chunks off because that I don't know what that is on your shoulder, but
Listen, okay, you don't want to know. I swear I walked past some glowing green shit. Okay, I didn't know where the fuck I was, and you know what? It smelled god awful. So I'd rather not live through that traumatizing experience again.
Okay. Yeah. Start with the hose, and I'll be done in a minute.
Owen just leaves.
You are. If Earl looks to you, and Colton, as you can clearly communicate with Earl in no uncertain terms, Earl has to ask, is that a leech attached to his leg?
It would not surprise me. I don't know. Honestly, I'm worried about the stuff that smells. Leech. Well, it's just poetic justice for us, but
Moment you go outside and opposing yourself down, I can assure you it is not a leech. Wish it was.
Oh God, what the fuck is this?
It rolls in the wind.
This is why I hate taking goddamn sewer.
Say as you end up continuing to end up using the garden hose to wash yourself off. And then seeing this grime starting to come off you. But the smell, it just gets worse when you add water back to it. Starting to dry out. Now it's all wet to fill in the nostrils. It's enough to make you want to gag if you had that reflex still. Be grateful you're dead.
Foul.
Everything is ruined.
I told you you're gonna trash those clothing. That's clothes.
I can't get it out. It won't come out.
Do we have any bleach?
Goddamn, these were my best shoes too.
The
That's something I'll
Jordans.
have to pick
The
up at
Jordans are ruined.
These things cost me $400. Fuck.
A floor cleaner.
now you've got a nice muddy pair of Air Force number 2s.
No one's gonna buy this shit.
I say that in character, by the way, because I'm standing at the back door. I'm going to take the hose and try to power wash him.
Earl being left
in
the tub, I imagine, because his bath.
It's actually worse.
Yes, woman. Oh God, and you just like trying to use his thumb to power wash him off as much as he can. Like, all right, someone get to see if there's any dish soap in the kitchen. So
You're lucky the water's fucking running.
This is disgusting.
This house has been abandoned for years. You're lucky the water's running.
Honestly, we should probably have heavier cleaning supplies.
I've been meaning to get to the grocery store.
Yo, see, do you got anything in the back of your truck?
Too soon.
I've got somebody on that already. I'll have called my criminal contact to go and hotwire Big C's truck.
Boost the truck before it's collected on the scene.
Exactly.
What's your dots in criminal contacts, just to be clear?
2.
2 should be enough. 2 should be enough.
I've got somebody on the truck. Don't worry about it.
I thought I was going to have to get a new one.
You're lucky you don't have to get a new one. It cost me $3,000.
I'll figure out a way to get that money.
So are we going to talk about what happened?
We got played.
Yeah,
No.
seriously. Like somebody who
Yeah.
might have understood the person in question, might have saw that a mile coming.
Who is that person, Omen? You said you knew them.
She
I just know
is
them as
on.
them.
Her name, well, she goes by M now, apparently. Her name is Metis. She's my
Metis?
broodmate, technically. Yeah.
How do you spell
She
that?
was more Metis.
Okay.
She's very smart, honestly. Was usually, well, when learning from the old man, she was the smarter of both of us, honestly.
Clearly.
She, well, I'm more combat smart than trickery. Trickery. She's cunning. She's always plans ahead. Kinda is 5 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead before you even think about being two kind of person. So
That could have been useful information to know before we went back there.
Could have been useful to even try and get to know her.
it's not useful to try to get to know her. She's an asshole.
To you. Maybe not to me. But we're beyond that now.
Yeah, I'm sure you would love to meet friends with the guy that, or the lady that wants your sire dead. You guys would be best pals. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. Maybe, go visit the preacher together.
Honestly,
You don't want
getting
to
the
be
jump
pushing
on
my
her.
buttons tonight.
Think about what you're saying.
I
Dad?
use everything to my advantage. It's how I survived as long as I have.
There is no. I don't think you understand. There is no advantage involving that person. Getting the jump on them is damn near impossible. Honestly.
I wouldn't have tried. But
Like, unless they usually just want to talk.
But, suffice it to say, we made our choices, and now we've got to live with them. All right?
Yeah.
I'm more worried about what's going to be on that dash cam footage.
So what would be on that dash cam footage? Possibly. Because I was in the back, where no one could see me.
Well,
Oh, how wonderful.
I took off running. Caught a couple of stray shots before I got away.
Oh.
And heard a giant crash.
Yeah, your assisted escape was welcome.
Yeah, I saw a
I kind of
squad car was split in half.
it helped one side of the police to fucking rain bullet.
Well, good job.
I couldn't do anything about that.
Congratulations, I am now officially Swiss cheese because you decided to throw something at them.
Could have gone a lot smoother. Could have. We learn from these experiences. Hopefully to live another night. Not all of us are actually intact. Ruby, you seem to have taken the brunt of the situation when it comes to physical damage.
As you say that, a piece of Ruby's lung drops out and starts reducing itself to ash on the back patio.
Not to mention how hungry everyone must be by this point, having to exert themselves to such a degree that you must hurl full garage doors and splitting a car in half. More people are going to die tonight,
I'm
as
looking
I'm
here.
sure all of you are aware.
Hmm.
I did nothing but try to get my ass fuck out of there.
You're still going to have to feed, and that is going to cost blood and
Healing is gonna be a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
What time is it, ST?
I would say about 3:30. You got a couple hours.
Alright. You
Thankfully.
look like you're the worst, Ruby. I'll be back.
Wait, you are not going anywhere. Just yet.
Excuse me?
We're not. You're just going to leave?
He needs blood.
Yes. Obviously. We have very little of that going around.
And I'm going to try to get a jump on that. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Taking responsibility.
I'll do nothing, or I'm nothing if not trying to help my coterie mates. Always try to. Always try to have your guys' back.
What about tonight was helping?
I asked if you wanted to get in on this and warned you it could get messy.
It's a good thing I was there.
Really?
Good thing you was there doing what?
Covering your ass. I made sure that your truck is actually going to be delivered to us tonight.
I know, and I said thank you, and I will owe you for that.
You also, as a result of the escapades tonight, not just the person who was flattened was killed tonight, but to cover your ass specifically, Colton and Omen, to make sure that there were less guns firing at you after you pulled out your rifle, I took it upon myself to get rid of one of them.
And that's what we do. We cover each other.
No.
That's why the rifle came out.
Covering each other is making sure that when you go out feeding, things don't go bad.
It's a semantics, and I don't have time to argue.
This,
I'm going to go for Ruby.
do you understand what it is to put a scar on your soul? I've broken one of my own rules tonight. A rule I've not broken in 15 years.
I'm sorry that you had to do that.
For you. And for Omen. Because y'all got cockeyed and wanted to get fucking physical in that shit.
Motherfucker, there was no getting physical in the first fucking place. I had to kick the fucking door down to get out of a burning fucking.
Which you knew Metis. You knew what she was like. This is just as much your shit stain as it is all of ours. Not to mention that chucking of things into the squad car that split it in half, yeah, that was caught on camera too. I'm sure of it. And now we've got to pay somebody again to make that disappear. And we better do it quickly. Otherwise, it's going to go viral somewhere.
I'll take care of that tonight.
You have people to take care of it?
Yes.
It would have been nice ahead of time.
I haven't
I
had a
know a guy
chance
that knows
to
some
take a
people.
break yet to call anybody, but I'm going to do that on the way to the bar.
What bar?
On the closest one, try to pick up someone and bring them back here.
To lead them to their death again.
It's that, or I don't know, maybe we can get a nice enough dress to cover up most of Ruby. Which would you have me
Not
do?
see the damage to my face, Colton.
That's called
Specifically from
sarcasm, honey.
fire.
That's called sarcasm, honey. I am saying that I need to get you blood so you can heal. This is something that I need to do because
Because you have a guilty conscience.
partly, but it's also something that I need to do because, well, I didn't think they would shoot an unarmed woman. But
You clearly aren't from around here.
well, part of the accent and stuff gave that away.
Oh, I don't know. Some people could fake a real nice American accent.
I'll keep that in mind. And Colton's going to walk out the door and go and try to procure takeout.
Colton drops the garden hose and starts to make his way off, leaving Omen currently soaking wet and standing in the remains of the filth that he had tracked through the house.
That is going to get. Oh, God, that's foul. It's gonna take forever to get that out of the carpets.
Right. Not to mention that I'm dropping.
Ruby, you can be very grateful that you don't have a thing called blood pressure anymore.
So, Omen,
What?
what possessed you to try and, I don't know, want to find out more about Metis tonight?
First thing, other than what you said last night, that I actually knew where the fuck she was.
And what's your beef? Remind me again.
She, I very much feel like she had a hand in fucking murdering the old man, dude. That's my beef. She was nowhere a fucking around to be seen. I tried to get in contact with her. She stays the fuck away. Couldn't find her, hide no fucking hair, just up and fucking disappeared.
You all must
Gone.
be very, very, very good at keeping off the radar, because if you've been in Winnipeg that long, and nobody that I know knows anything about you or your sire or Metis or M. So
I
what
usually
makes you
don't
think
try
that
to
she
get
had a
fucking
hand
active.
in? She could have just
Me
been
and
at the
her
wrong
have
place at
been
the wrong time, like we were tonight.
wrong place, wrong time, my ass.
There hadn't have been a good reason for her to want your sire dead.
Dude, she's always up to fucking scheming and bullshit. Always.
That's what
That's
vampires
one of the reasons
do.
why she is. She takes scheming to a whole new level, dude. That's one of the reasons why she gets in trouble in the first fucking place.
It seems like she gets you in a lot more trouble than she gets herself. Because, according to my record, it's Metis 1, Omen Zip.
I don't want to fucking hear that shit, bro.
I'm just saying.
Always fucking one upping.
Who's she got to impress now? There's no sire to impress. Unless she's in league with one of our barons.
From what I've been heard, she floats around Matthias and Silverstein.
And I float around everywhere. What importance is that?
She more than likely went to one of their sides. I don't really fucking know that shit.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think that
I
your
want
person.
answers to what happened that night, man.
I get
And
that.
her just not even trying to talk to me.
She
is
probably
what's
doesn't
grinding my
know you
fucking gears.
exist.
Bullshit.
You think that setup was because of you?
Most definitely not.
That was Colton. She expected Colton to come back. In fact, I'm pretty sure she even expects that he narked and went back. So yeah. If she's that many steps ahead of you, man, you're not gonna catch her. Not like this.
I gotta figure out a way to do that, man.
Well, it just so happens that I'm well connected. People pay me for information. Just because I don't know anything about Metis now doesn't mean that I won't. So, in the interest of camaraderie with my coterie, that is exactly what I'm going to do. Is I am going to spin a yarn and find out what I can find out about Metis. This way we can get ahead of her. This way you can actually sit her down and actually have a conversation about what happened that night that your sire died. And maybe, just maybe, you'll get the answers you want.
Maybe.
As far as what Colton wanted out of all of this, I have no idea. He might have told me. I might have forgotten.
With how tonight ended up, it's understandable.
Oh. Tonight was a lot. Too much. I imagine all of us are on frayed edges right now. So, before things get out of hand, I am going to also go. Because, Ruby, Colton seems to think that he has you handled.
We'll see what he brings home.
Do your best, please.
Well, I'm not bleeding. at least. That's a plus.
Yeah,
The healing.
the last time Eddie happened.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cool. Colton's actually probably in a better position to keep that under control than I.
Yeah.
And
Omen,
even
if
Omen
you
here.
touch me, no. He touches me when he's like that, he's gonna get fucking kicked.
Not like it would hurt any.
I
Twinkle
still
toes.
spray him down. I take the hose and spray, start spraying him down again.
Yeah, I gotta burn all this shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Including the $400 Jordans. No!
Yeah, these were my prize babies. God damn it, man.
Why do
Why
you
would you-
wear them?
Why would you wear them out on a job like that?
Cause dog, listen,
The creases, man. The creases
it's-
decrease the value.
bro, nothing barely fucking hits me. Alright? So I wasn't having to really worry about this shit.
Never take that chance.
Why do you
Shit
think I
can
dress as
and
drab
will
as I
go
do?
wrong.
Hey, just because you want to be looking trashy when you go on shit, doesn't mean I want to. Alright?
And now look at you. You went through what? The sewer?
Appears that smells like it.
And, yeah. I mean, it was the quickest way out that situation, honestly, other than just like booking it down the fucking street.
You made your choices. You made your bed. Gotta lie in it now. Shit and all. Well, I've got nothing more going on tonight. Do you
I'm
need
gonna
anything,
go-
Omen?
I need multiple things, man. But honestly, I'm just gonna go feed, then study. I need to
Do
drown
you
the world.
want help feeding? Correction. Do you need help feeding?
the way my let's see. Help
Aside from
is-
some grime, is he injured at all?
I would actually be it. He took 2 superficial. He has like 2 bullet holes.
Okay.
I guess I should have someone watch my back.
You know I can't stop you. I can only watch your back, right?
Yeah,
You might want to check on Eddie to see if he needs any.
That too.
Yeah. At least we can find out whether or not he can close a wound. That'll be helpful information.
While that ends up going on, I think it's best we end up looking at Colton. Now, Colton, you said you're doing some bar hopping.
Yeah, on the way, I'm going to make a phone call as well.
Okay, what kind of phone call are you making?
I'm going to call my criminal contacts, which I'm assuming has at least one dirty cop on the...
You can make
You
all
know,
the assumptions
among
you
them.
want, but yeah. All right. You have 3 dots in there, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what are you hoping to get out of these contacts?
I'm hoping that they can get access to the cloud storage and corrupt some files.
Big ask. Big ask. Tell you what, make me a charisma persuasion plus criminal contacts. We'll see. We'll see what they can do. This is not just like picking up a car or something like that. This is tampering with evidence. With still the physical evidence of a steel garage door being put right through the center of a goddamn squad car. This might be a little tricky.
I'm going to re-roll some dice too.
Okay, I see we got 4 by default, and you're wanting to willpower that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to willpower. 6.
6. Okay. Colton, you're told not to worry about it. But you get the impression that somebody's going to be asking for a kickback. This is not a small thing you are asking.
I'm assuming so.
So we'll have to end up keeping that going. All right. But it looks, as far as your contacts, this small little thing might be doable. It's not like they're asking you to break something out of police evidence or anything like that. Oh, wait. But we'll see what happens. Still, you got a feeding role to do tonight.
Yes.
Now we are still at chase 2, if I recall. So we are needing 5 successes or more.
That's a messy crit.
It's a messy crit. But it is more than enough.
With the amount of successes that I did, could I perhaps maybe bring back a pair of individuals?
I would say, yeah. I think that is more than plausible, all things considering. What sort of individuals are you bringing back? Tell me. How did you have enough successes? I'm willing to just say, here's the ST screen. How does your night go?
I go in, maybe start cruising around, dancing with people, catching the eyes, and just working the room, finding who might be interested for coming back for a nightcap. Probably pick up a nice couple looking for a little bit of extra fun. And have a fun walk back to my place that's right down the street.
Okay. When they get to your place, the immediate question is, what's that smell? Combination of wet dog and sewer. Freshly garden hosed. Ruby, you, Adder, and Omen, I imagine at this point. Omen, you still haven't had the bath because Earl refuses to give the thing up. Every time you go anywhere near it, every time you look at it, it starts growling.
All right, pup. You been in there for damn an hour. Your ass is scoot the fuck over.
He growls again.
I will take. Boy, don't you growl at me. Scoot it or get fucking booted.
Since it is a blood-bonded pupper, it's not going to react the same way that most do it. And given the fact that it has a small portion of Colton's personality in it, it agrees. It's going to stop growling. It proceeds to look at it, splash around a little bit as it's currently circling, as though it's chasing its own tail, before it finally finds what it's looking for. It dives its maw into the water sharply as a predator. It does. You imagine this is the same action it makes when it's trying to maul a human being, but when its head comes out looking at you, in between its jaws, yellow plastic staring at you, two glossy eyes looking back at you from between the teeth, a bill of pure orange, and squeak!
God damn it. Dog.
Squeak, squeak,
I ain't playing with you, man.
squeak.
You know what? I'm muscling my way in. Scoot your ass over. Alright?
Squeak.
Yeah. Too bad.
All right, roll me a charisma plus animal kin.
I am god awful at this. You said charisma animal kid, huh?
Yep.
God damn it, Derek, my face hurts now.
All right. Omen, I'll give you a succeed at a cost. You got one success. I was looking for two. So I'm going to give you a simple cost.
What is it?
Oh, nothing simple. Just you might not want to use the bath after the fact.
God. You piece of shit.
That's a better idea than what I had. Yeah, sure. We'll go on with that.
Ah. You dirty little motherfucker.
You're the one who came up with it.
I fucking glare at that damn dog. You did that on purpose.
You can end up seeing as Earl decides to shake himself off. You are covered in wet dog. No water. Proceeds to kick back his heels on the carpet, and proceeds to end up walking out of the room indignant, leaving you with a bath of used dog water, his chewed up rubber duck on the floor, and a floater.
Fuck this. I'm finding somewhere else.
Looks a lot like that leech.
Oh, yes, goddamn, but bring back bad memories. I'm out this bitch.
You start coming down as you end up seeing Colton walking in with two individuals. This standoff has been going on for quite some time. Ruby Adder, what are you doing? As Colton makes his triumphant return and that annoying squeaking suddenly started and then suddenly stopped. A bunch of cursing happening from upstairs.
Ruby's making sure she can't be seen.
Just as I was probably helping set the mood, as I understand Ruby. Down comes Omen. Very wet. Sort of. From maybe the waist down? Question mark?
I'll leave that to Omen.
You know what? The majority of his clothes are fucking off. He already has to burn the majority of the shit. He at least gonna walk around with some fucking dignity up in this house. Okay.
Care to join?
Doing what? Oh.
Hun.
Uh.
Come on, Omen.
Yo, man, you didn't tell me the orgy was tonight.
Plenty to go around.
You just into some freaky little shit. It's like every Tuesday with you. You and her.
But that's half the fun. I imagine at that point
Ruby
she's
says
kind of-
as trying to via hiding that horrible facial wound that she's taken. And I think that is a good place to end tonight. Volvo, you know better than to give me ideas, okay? You know better.
You know better, indeed.
Right?
You can't even be mad at me for that one. That was entirely on you.
Look, a good ST will take their players' ideas and make them their own.
Fucking fisticuffs, man.
All right.
No dog is gonna catch his hands.
You're gonna catch this ducky.
You touch that dog, you're going to have an enemy in Colton.
Yeah, like I said, do you want John Wick? Because this is how we get John Wick.
All right. So let's end up running through stains first and foremost. So I don't think Colton technically broke any. I'm gonna double check.
I mean, protect the innocent, maybe.
There was no innocent to be protected there.
Well, would killing a cop be considered an innocent?
In this regard, I'm not going to say so.
Okay.
Might be hip, they might be manipulated into it, might be dirty. You don't know. It might be a different portion of the Chronicle at another point in time. If we engage in it, who knows? That being said, we are going to start off with, then I think it's Adder who would be having to roll a remorse check. So let's get that out of the way real quick.
So, I broke one of my convictions, but I also was doing so kind of in service to one of my other convictions, which was to keep your sworn word. I did promise that I was going to assist in some way.
You know what? I will allow you to drop it to 2 stains then instead of 3.
Okay.
That is a fair argument to have.
Not that it changes the dice roll very much, but you know.
All right. There's a humanity drop. Well, Adder, you kept your word. That's the important bit. Besides, like Preacher says, most of your chains and the Camarilla are all up here. Yep, right where your cat tail's pointing. Right in there, the headbeat. All right.
Still should go to confessional.
So, we do experience a little bit differently here. You can already tell that there's a poll up asking about the viewer XP he offered. The reason is there's 5 categories. Everybody gets one for showing up and playing. There are 3 other categories where the players vote. Who pushed the plot? Who had the best scene? Who had the best line? Right? But then that last one comes down to you. Your favorite player, your favorite character, your favorite clan, you like who's wearing glasses. I don't know why I'm the only one without a prescription in this group, but apparently that is the case. You can choose. You don't need to justify it. You just need to plug it in and vote. So, while that is going on, and Omen having a hell of a lead, let's start off. Who pushed the plot?
I have a slight argument for myself.
Adder coming in right away, voting for himself. Oh, we're going for the mad scramble right away.
I'm gonna try to vote for myself.
Omen, if you had your hand up, I can't tell.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. All right. So let's see. So that's one Omen, one Adder.
I want to hear the arguments of why.
Yeah.
Well, it could have gone a lot worse if Adder hadn't stepped in and done some things.
You know what?
It's a stretch.
Omen
I'll admit that.
Omen flung the huge ass fucking gate to cover Ruby and Big C.
And
that is definitely going to be a plot point later because it's masquerade breaching.
Yeah, it could definitely be a plot point. Come back. All right. So
it was a bold narrative choice,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it drove a lot of stuff. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Omen.
Okay.
Just because of the magnitude.
3 on Omen.
I'll give it to Omen too.
Okay, Omen, congratulations. You get a plot point. Okay, who had the best scene?
Earl.
You can't vote for the dog.
Okay.
Omen, congratulations. You end up getting the audience XP for the night.
Oh, yeah.
Best scene.
Adder making the conscious decision to murder someone.
Yeah, I think it's
he
between.
hasn't done in 15 years.
Yeah, I think it's between that and yeeting and cutting a car in half. Because those are like the two
that's kind of double dipping, to be fair.
Yeah, so I'll go with Adder for this one.
Adder.
All right. And looks like Adder gets the XP tonight.
Woo! Although, the last time he murdered someone, it was not a conscious choice, it was a frenzy.
Fair. All right. So, with that in mind, well, who had the best line?
I'm going to throw mine in there for I am now Swiss cheese because of you.
I'm going to throw mine in for, well, now you have a pair of Air Force number 2s.
Okay.
Actions have consequences. Or to the one that was to that effect. It's like, you made your bed. Now you gotta lie in it.
You know what? Everyone's going for themselves on this one.
You can end up giving somebody XP at your discretion, or you could tie it up and try and end up making for an all or nothing.
You know what? In the vein of we're all in this together, as quoted by Colton and Adder, I'm voting for myself.
All right, then.
All
what do you guys think? Total high or low?
Low.
I'm gonna give it to Ruby I'm making that decision. I'm changing my vote.
You give it to Ruby?
Yep.
As soon as I say high or low,
Um,
everybody puckers a bit. No! Don't do it!
we know how that turns out.
We know how that turns out. This is why I made that choice.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm changing my vote then.
All right. Ruby,
You're not a team
congratulations.
player.
Dang
I am a
cheese.
team player. I gave it
Ours.
to her.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Ruby, congratulations. You got the audience or you got the line of the night. Omen got the the audience XP, and overall we are doing pretty good. So, with that being said, I think it is time to raid out. So, let's go and take a look at what Ace is currently up to, who they're starting their own Vampire the Masquerade one shot. And so, let's see what they got. Raiding out. I'm going to wish you all a fantastic evening. Say goodnight, everybody.
No.
Right.
Good night.
Squeak!